There was just so much going on that it was hard to know what to film. But that was just the exciting part about it, was the unknown. It was not following through. Nothing was working out. You know, we tried to call and contact all these people, and Ryan, there's a big wave coming. Holy shit.
Oh my God.
Hold the equipment as high as you can.
Wait.
The United Nations Climate Summit in Copenhagen has opened with fanfare and a challenge to world leaders to seize the moment. The 15,000 delegates are now getting down to work on a global deal to cut carbon emissions.
This is a time to deliver. This is the place to commit. And yes, I know there are still many obstacles, but it is up to us in this room now, to try to overcome them. And it is doable.
Watching the ocean slowly eat away at the foundation of our house, and the fires burn the countryside around us, and hearing about this green revolution, I wanted to make some sense of my future in regards to the environment. As someone who wants to make a difference but isn't quite sure how, I figured that the best thing to do was to go to the heart of it all. Going to Copenhagen, baby.
If you guys don't have fun, it's your own fault.
Your tray table is put away, and all carry-on items are properly stowed. As we come to the cabin for our final safety check, please let us know if you have any questions. And finally, now would be a good time for everyone to review the safety information card, which is in your seat pocket.
Thanks for your attention. Enjoy your flight.
Excuse me.
So far we've arrived a day late, a bag short, and freezing the entire time, because it's been about 20 degrees with snow yesterday. He wanted me aboard to be a cameraman. Being that I'm a film major, I do have a little bit of knowledge of what it takes to make a good film, I'd say.
Eric wasn't exactly the most environmentally conscious person I'd ever met. I think the first time I told him about the conference, he shot me back with this blank stare of, "What are you talking about?" But I knew that he would start to care about the issues once he realized how they would pertain to his future. To tell you the truth, he just wanted to make movies. But in order to do that, we needed the funding, we needed the equipment, and that's where Bennett came in.
They're actually expecting snow later this week, which might not bode well for the clothing we brought.
Bennett is on the school finance board and happens to be my roommate. He helped us locate some funding options so we could actually get to Copenhagen. And then there was Ricardo.
I used to have very long hair. My dad didn't let me cut it until I was 6.
Ricardo had kind of grown up in Europe and was more concerned with how to make money from the environment by going green. Plus, he was my sound man. And I had successfully assembled my climate entourage.
Well, in terms of education, I think you have the best education in the world, whether it's technology or whether it's, I don't know, humanities. So, but it's more of a mentality problem. For instance, here in Copenhagen, everybody bikes. I was just in America recently, and you don't see any bikes.
I think the Americans need to look a little bit more inwards and question more their own ways of life.
And they blah blah too much. They make empty promises. I hate America.
Really?
Yeah, it's very bad people.
Oh, wow.
I'm crazy.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Cut that. Please cut it. No?
Look at that. You know, as bigger the countries are, the bigger bad guys they get.
That's true, yeah.
Justice! 350. 350.
350 is a grassroots campaign that's fighting to keep the parts per million of carbon in the atmosphere at 350. It's actually at 390 today, which is, scientists say, is extremely unsafe. The more parts per million we put in the atmosphere, carbon, the higher global temperatures we have, the more ice melt, sea level rise. The real face of the 350 campaign is the president of the Maldives, President Nasheed. The Maldives are a group of islands that are literally disappearing little by little every year due to sea level rise. They're kind of the underdog of Copenhagen, the face of climate change.
In all political agreements, you have to be prepared to negotiate. You have to be prepared to compromise, to give and to take. That is the nature of politics. But physics isn't politics.
In the summer of 2007, that's the next number you need to remember, the summer of 2007. That was the moment when all of a sudden, with amazing speed, we saw ice melt across the Arctic. By the time that summer was over, there was 25% less sea ice in the Arctic than there'd been 12 months before. The Earth, viewed from outer space, looked entirely different than it had. That scared scientists because it came ahead of schedule. It let us know that we were at or past the threshold.
We were blessed or cursed with an abundance of cheap, dirty brown coal.
Coal, it's a reality in the United States. It's a natural source of energy. We don't have to go to the Middle East to get it. We're going to use it, and so if we can find a way to make it cleaner, that's great. I mean, I don't like people talking about it like it's the solution, because it's absolutely not.
It's very clear now that what the U.S. at the moment is defending is the old economy, the 18th and 19th and 20th century economy that involves burning lots of stuff, and that's it. And there's no future in that. There's no ecological future, and there's no economic future.
Everybody wants it to be this sort of like quick fix, and it's not a quick fix. And it's not even necessarily going to be a permanent fix when we do figure it out.
The last 5 years, China, India, and America have produced like 800 coal plants.
So this is not a question of it's the Chinese, it's the Indians, it's all of us.
And I just wanted to know, like, what does that mean towards, especially towards 350, and is there any way that we can respond to that? I just don't, that's too much coal.
Straight for profit companies will ultimately exploit resources like pollution in the air and stuff like that. If you don't pay a penalty, you need to get a market for pollution also.
After Eric and I got separated from Ricardo and Bennett in the streets of Copenhagen at 5 a.m. in the freezing cold.
Wait, so we came from this way, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did.
I don't think we did.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so. I don't remember crossing the street either, though.
What?
I don't remember crossing the street either, though.
Fucking A, dude, where are we?
We got in a cab to go to the Bella Center, where the actual COP15 conference was happening, the actual negotiations. All these official delegates were getting together to try to cut carbon emissions.
We got lost. How are you?
What do you think about the climate conference in Copenhagen?
It's worth nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
We got to the Bell Center, it didn't get much better. There's a line out the door, maybe 3,000 people waiting to get in the freezing cold. And these people weren't just people like us. They were people like representatives from NGOs and environmental organizations and people who we thought had a part to play in these negotiations. But they were standing right there next to us in line, not getting in, not getting their passes. And it turned out that the United Nations had completely overbooked the venue. And again, that was like another blow to what we thought was going to be a trip that yielded this golden information. We thought that if we could get in, we'd be able to see the way the negotiations work and try to determine a little bit more of how we can help our environment, help the environment in a way that's best for us. But it didn't end up happening.
Learn, and I just can't imagine what they're going through, because if we're freaking out about not getting in, what are they doing if their job relies on this? I mean, I don't know what it says, but I think it says something about the fact that the little people just don't matter when it comes to the environment. It's all about the big countries and the players, and that's what you even saw last night from the Maldives guy. It was like,
but you know what? At the same time, I like that. I like that some people, although they're not going to get in, are still trying to do so just to make their voice heard. I think that says a lot too.
Yeah. It's true. That you know, we are built to see things with our ears, our eyes, hear them with our ears, feel them with our hands. And I'll tell you that I have never seen climate change with my eyes. I've never heard it with my ears. I've never touched it. And what we're asking is that people, workers, whatever people are, pensioners around the world, that they should trust someone, some sort of researcher that they have never met, that they have never had a chance to ask a question, that sometime 50 years from now the world will be quite different if we don't do something different today. And they have to come together negotiating across language barriers and everything in order to come to a common understanding and a common set of actions to change things today that will really only matter, really matter for you and I 50 years into the future.
The march tomorrow is permanent. There is a permit to go right up to the Bella Center. Do not be intimidated by these intimidation tactics. Opposing climate change is extremely profitable business. And why really the only hope at this point for a deal is if the US and Europe successfully twist the arms of the developing countries enough to force them to sign a deal that is against their interests. And we need to say very clearly that it's better to have no deal at all than to have a bad deal like that. We'll hold out a little longer.
hey, get a shot of the conference as we go by.
There it is. There was our goal. We did not make it.